Ladies and gentlemen, some of you who clicked on this video have been playing chess for many years, and others might have only been playing chess for a short period of time or literally never. I never know who is clicking on a Gotham chess video for the very first time. Regardless, you should know you can play chess against other humans, or you can play chess against bots. And the most famous bot in the world is Martin. I once made a video about beating Martin when Martin had 30 queens on the board. That is 270 points of material, and I still managed to win. And Martin is the rite of passage for every chess beginner. Martin is available for play right now. You can go to chess.com. I'm not even sure you have to make an account. You can play against Martin. But I paired Martin against my baby bot. You see, right now at the beginning of March 2026, I just put out Chess for Babies. It's already a top 1,000 book in the world. Now, if you're not a baby or don't have a baby or don't know anybody with a baby, this book's not for you. But Chess for Babies is looking to raise some of the next chess prodigies of the world from ages 0, 1, 2, and so on. And so today I will pair baby Gotham bot against Martin and see if Martin can defeat the 1-year-old version of myself. I made them play 2 games against each other. And we are about to see what happens if Martin plays a 1-year-old. Baby Gotham has a rating of 3, and he has the Grandmaster title, because I might as well assign it to the baby bot version of myself since I'll never get it. So, first game, Baby Gotham with the white pieces, Martin with the black pieces. Baby Gotham opening up the action with the move pawn to e4, taking the center, e5, and you couldn't have scripted it any better. Baby Gotham plays the Vienna. One of my favorite openings. Now, I think Baby Gotham is just developing a knight to the middle of the board. But whatever. You're supposed to develop pieces to the middle of the board, and that's the way it goes. D6, not a horrendous move by Martin, but certainly not impressive. You shouldn't be blocking in your bishops. You should be putting the knights into the center of the board first. Also, you can play either of these bots. If you want to play Baby Gotham after watching this video or during this video, or Martin, they will be the top 2 links of the description. Now, my baby bot, for whatever reason, plays queen here. Certainly not a very good move. You should not be moving your queen so early. If there is no obvious benefit, you should move your knight, your bishop. The queen wants to hang back, let the others do the dirty work, and then kind of come in at the last moment and take all the credit. Martin plays the absolutely fascinating move here, pawn to c6. Cannot really explain that one to you, blocking the path of the knight. When pawns stand like this, all kind of together, they form little spikes. And by spikes, I just mean, they control the squares in front, so you can't really step on them, kind of like setting a little bear trap for the pieces. D3 here, a riveting move from Baby Gotham. Can't really explain this other than the fact that it gets the dark square bishop out, so maybe it's a perfectly reasonable move. And now Martin really impresses all of us and plays the very powerful king to d7. Now, king to d7 is an absolutely idiotic move. It is exceptionally stupid. It is impressively idiotic, king to d7. You now walk your king into the center, you block your bishop, and you block your knight, and by moving the king now can't castle. King cannot swap with a rook. King will now walk around the board like a dummy. Now, my baby bot, of course, gets distracted with a shiny object, and rather than developing a knight or a bishop, plays queen to g4 check. Of course, it is a direct attack on the king, but if the king simply goes to c7, you've done nothing. In fact, you've just created this. This is something I like to call continuity, which is too big of a word for Baby Gotham to understand, and too big of a word for Martin to understand, because he's dumb. So, continuity is how the board is changed depending on which pieces move. Not just the piece itself, but the vision of other pieces, right? That's what I like to say. And king c7 would have been very reasonable, but Martin, for whatever reason, plays f5. F5 is just bad. It's a bad move. It loses the pawn 2 different ways. Of course, it's better to take with the queen, and now the king moves, and the baby, rather than retreating the queen, bulldozes forward, and after this, trades the queens and starts to cry. Queen d7, by the way, blundered a bishop. So after queen takes, baby Gotham could have played queen takes f8 with just a totally dominating position, up a bishop, up a pawn, black's king running around the board with his pants off. I don't know what he's doing. And, you know, then white would just bring the queen back. But okay, we traded the queens and this is the position. I was like, okay, I mean, baby Gotham is not particularly good at endgames, and I can tell you that for a fact because adult Gotham is not particularly good at endgames. I mean, I'm better than you. Okay, the biggest misconception you could tell yourself by watching my videos is you could beat me in a game. Hi, Magnus. Hi, maybe you can. But, yeah, the rest of you can't. B3, nothing wrong with B3. Look, as long as you're not making a blunder, frankly, I don't care. Any of you playing chess, if you're not coming up with a plan, you're just kind of making safe moves. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't make any mistakes. H6, we move the dark squared bishop, we move the knight. Beautiful chess here being displayed from the infant. Rook H7, just so creatively dumb, I can't even begin to express, like, what is that move? Baby Gotham, knight a4, you know what, whatever. Baby Gotham moves the knight and yells, horsey, because it actually has voice lines. A6, let's get the bishops out, let's move a bishop. Beautiful play, let's move the other bishop, let's castle. Baby Gotham knows how to long castle, and the 40-year-old Bulgarian doesn't. I mean, what are we even doing here? Knight to d5, giving up the knight. Now, I have a theory, and some of you have said this. You think Martin is programmed to be the feel-good dad of chess. He's the dad of the chess world. He's happy to lose a game or two to the kids so as not to, you know, mess with their confidence. And that's a beautiful theory. I think you're just wrong. I think he's just, you know, really stupid. But maybe. I don't know. And he's an adorable little moron. I don't know. Knight to c3. Also, sometimes I make fun of him so much, but there are people watching these videos who literally cannot beat him. And what I say to you is, time to buy this book for yourself, okay? That's all I can say. No, with just a bit of basics and not blundering pieces, you will be able to beat Martin. And we see here, baby Gotham takes all his pieces. I was flabbergasted. I was like, yo, Martin's straight up gonna lose to a 1-year-old. Like, what's going on? A5. Knight takes, all free. Of course, you can bring this back and hit the bishop. You can also just move something. Knight takes d5 is a fantastic move. Now, all right, look, my general rule of thumb is if you don't have to go backwards, don't do it. I like to say 80% of the time at all levels of chess, going forward is the right move. Knight e3 back, h5, a little bit of a mysterious move. Maybe go back and take the bishop. What are we doing? Okay, I don't hate that move, but in general, avoid pushing pawns and offering pawn trades where you've castled, because you're just going to open up your king. Against Martin, you could do literally anything. He goes bishop h6. Now, this is what we call a pin. This knight is not under attack. It is protected by, you know, and that would be an equal trade, so we don't have to do anything. Knight f7 is a fantastic move. We attack the bishop, and now baby Gotham is just up a clean 10 points of material and a clean diaper. I can't say the same about Martin. Pawn takes e3. King to a7, now we take another pawn. We have an 11-point material advantage. Take another pawn and another pawn. Why not? Pawn to, that doesn't do, okay. Maybe baby Gotham is starting to feel bad. d4 with the discovered check of the day, and now we just start chopping down the rest of Martin's pawns. Okay, we're gonna lose the rook, but we're gonna win the knight. He doesn't even take the rook, check. We win the knight. Now is he gonna take the rook? Absolutely not. Baby Gotham plays e4. Baby Gotham gets the rook out of the way, and my guy promotes his freaking pawn and makes a queen. Bro, baby Gotham is stronger than adult Gotham. Like, this is absurd how good this bot is. And now, watch as it corrals the king. So here there is a mate in 2. There is a mate in 2. The mate in 2 is you have to weave a checkmating net. If you just give checks to the king, which obviously will lead to checkmate because black is down 25 points of material, and considering you start the game with 39 points, that's really impressive. You cannot check, but you have to weave a mating net. You have to surround the king like this, where he now has no legal moves. Now, this would be a stalemate, which is a rule. If you have no legal moves, and you have no pieces that can move, if you have no legal king moves, and you have no pieces that can move, it would be a draw. But here black has legal moves, and then, you know, in the next move you would play rook to d7. Anyway, none of that really matters because baby Gotham goes here and then mates like this. I was like, okay, that was obviously a fluke. If you embarrass Martin like this, ain't no way, right? Like, what are we Okay, so let's run it back and let's give Martin the white pieces. Martin opened with e4, and baby me played knight c6. Okay, fine, developing the knight. And Martin said, I'm going to play c4. Now, this already is a worse position for white. Can you believe it? Why is this a worse position for white? Like, how does this make any sense according to the computer? If black just plays the move e5, this move violated multiple principles. Number one, you did not develop the knights and the bishops, right? Number two, you also blocked your bishop. That's kind of like 1A, 1B. But more importantly, by putting two pawns like this, it's like a split pin in bowling. There's a gap, and this gap is now completely dominated by black. You will never push a pawn here. If you try to push a pawn here, I will block it. And at this point, if white just never ends up getting a pawn there, black will soon completely control the square. There are even some maneuvers in chess that would involve moving this knight there, and then back, and then here, and completely dominating the square, totally not letting me move forward. But, okay, my baby bot does not know that, but now you do. Baby bot goes here, and Martin takes the entire center, and it's quite clear that the baby is scared, okay? The baby has been frightened, startled. It's playing very passively. The bishops are stuck behind the pawns. Martin opens up with a big lead. Then he brings his queen out. Queen d3 is so bad. Like, knight, knight, bishop, bishop, castle. No, queen d3, just no. Like, we gotta get you off of this. We gotta wean you off of this, to use a baby term. Now my baby bot strikes with pawn to f5, which I have to tell you is just not a good move, but we're gonna give an exception because baby Gotham has won. The f5's not good. You gotta move your knights and bishops, and you can't really open up lines to your king like this. After this pawn trade, white just has an advantage because the king is open. White will develop, maybe even long castle, maybe even castle exactly in the previous how the previous game went. None of that happens. Martin mimics the baby and says, ooh, you play f5? I play f4. Now Martin has 4 pawns out, which is impressive, but clearly bad. Like, you have not seen chess games go like this, okay? At your level or even at Grandmaster level. This is generally not what happens. With the exception of the 4 pawns attack, yes, that's the name in the King's Indian defense. Black plays queen h4 check. A riveting move. Absolutely riveting. You know, there's nothing good is gonna come out of this move, because you're just gonna block the check. So queen h4, g3, and queen e7. Now Martin here should again develop the knight, develop the other knight, develop the bishop, develop the bishop. I'm waiting for this to happen. Martin develops the knight. What? I mean, how can I can't complain about this. This is excellent. Knight to f3 is absolutely fantastic. Now my baby version needs to take this probably. And the reason is the queen will move, and then the queen will get whacked with this horse. And that's a good thing, because you will develop a piece and follow the principles. The reason I don't like this next move, pawn to h6, I don't like this kind of weird pawn moves, but the truth is, if you go and played a chess.com game right after this video, and you played like this in the beginning, you just kind of set up a little pawn wall, no one's going to know what to do. Like, I actually promise to you, no one's going to know what to do. People just don't understand in beginner-level chess how to break through a defense. It's like if you did a wrestling match or a boxing match, I don't know why you would do it as a baby, and the other person just stood there like this. Like, you have to go initiate the action, but every time you get close, they're going to go pop, and you're like, whoa, you know? And it's weird. It's just a weird kind of feeling. So queen c2 here, from the immortal Martin bot, queen c2, why are we not getting the other pieces out? My baby bot now needs to move something and hasn't moved yet. That's horrendous, absolutely stupid decision-making from the infant, just an absolute embarrassment. Queen to d7 is terrible. What are we doing? I mean, I really hope we're making space for other pieces to move, otherwise you should have just developed some pieces. Martin now impresses me with an even more idiotic decision than queen c2 or queen d7. Martin doesn't develop the knight, doesn't develop the bishop, doesn't develop anything, plays rook g1. I mean, rook g1 is, like I said, Martin is creatively dumb. Like, at least when Martin does things that are objectively really terrible, I look at his moves and I go, you know, honestly, this is not even a move that I, considered. He at least makes moves that I didn't even look at. That's how I know they're really bad. Unfortunately, baby Gotham falls under the spell of Martin in this game and begins to mimic similar behavior. Because rook to g1 is met with rook to h7. Rook to h7 is the move you make when you're tired of playing. It's like if you ever did anything with a younger relative and at some point their brain just short circuits, it's time for a nap, and they just, you know, destroy the Legos or destroy the little, you know, house of cards that you built or whatever. Yeah, rook h7 is just like, I don't know, just here's a move, okay? I used to work with some kids in after-school programs, and you would have the serious kids, and then you would have the kids that would literally, and I don't even exaggerate, they would be sitting there, and they would look at the closest piece to their hand, and if it had a legal move, they would just play it. And those kids were forced into chess by parents who thought that it would have cognitive benefits for the child. And the answer to that is actually yes, chess does have a lot of benefits for children. But not when they do that. Not when they just are tired and look for the closest thing and then move it. And hopefully you don't play chess like that. Rook h7 does absolutely nothing. Bishop g2 would have been a really good move had the rook still been here. Because then on the next move you would have castled. I like bishop g2 a lot. And now my baby bot captures, which is really bold, because now you have just put a rook here, and the rook is going to be under attack. You have two choices here with black. You can move the rook back to exactly where it was, but now you cannot castle, because you're a baby. Knight to f6 is also possible, and I really like this move, because not only do you defend the rook, you also attack the queen. It's just a good move. You develop a knight to its natural square. Of course, that doesn't happen, and baby me plays g6. Baby me has been fully corrupted at this point by the horrendous behavior of Martin, and is now like, it's like, again, you have a 4-year-old relative and a 10-year-old relative, and you watch the 10-year-old behave terribly at the family gathering, and now the 4-year-old is inspired to behave like the 10-year-old. Yeah, just very bad. Martin plays not queen takes pawn check, which would have been a triple fork. This move would have had to have been met with queen f7. Otherwise, you would have lost the knight, or gone here and lost the rook, and that doesn't happen, and instead Martin plays pawn to a3. A3 is, of course, dreadful. I am running out of adjectives for the word bad. You know, bad, horrible, idiotic, moronic, stupid, bad, dumb, etc. And black plays the move d5. d5 is a very good move, except for the fact that it still loses this pawn with a triple fork. Will Martin spot that move? No, and dare I say, not only does Martin not spot the move queen takes g6, I actually think at this point, Martin plays literally the worst move on the board. When I saw this, I didn't even want to give him any more attention on my YouTube channel. I literally wanted to not make this video at all, okay? Oh my goodness, my nose is itchy, seasonal allergies have started, and I will now be losing my mind for about 5 months. Martin plays the move king f2. King f2 is really bad because it straight up hangs the queen. Like, if you cannot beat Martin and you're still watching this, your goal for the end of the month is to beat Martin. Please. Pawn takes e4, attacking the knight, and Martin doesn't even move the knight. He loses the knight. Credit to the baby bot. The baby bot takes everything. The baby bot takes the queen, the baby bot takes the knight, and clearly, if you blunder, it's going to take all of your pieces. And Martin goes king f1. Now, here, black can win like 700 different ways. The cleanest is probably to go bishop c5 and literally like checkmate on the next move. Bishop c5 and either take the rook or take on f2, or bishop c5, rook g2, and then, you know, queen d1 looks like a mate. Unfortunately, it's not a mate, but it looks like a mate. Anyway, bishop c5, king g2 rook g2 would be splendid. This is not mate, but you win soon anyway. So, king d7, though. Yeah, king d7. Why are we moving the king? I like to deliver this age-old wisdom of there is a queen, a rook, a knight, a bishop, all these powerful, active pieces. The king needs to be protected. The king is not a strong piece. The king... Yo. Why are we going king d7? This is not good. Rook a2 played. Rook a2 is a powerful move, just like rook h7 preceded it. Just looking at the thing that has an available move and then moving it. The bot plays queen c4 check, then proceeds to take the rook. Then the baby takes the knight. Then the baby brings the bishop, and then the baby escapes with the queen and wins the rook. Now, of course, black is completely winning, but black is 1 year old. Maybe black will fall asleep. At this point, baby Gotham begins to toy with Martin. In this position, you can once again weave a checkmate net. you can simply play knight to f3, followed by queen f1 or queen h2. Knight f3 is totally winning. Except baby Gotham decides, I actually haven't had that much fun ending this game. I'm not going to have that much fun. I want to keep playing. I want to just enjoy my position for a little bit longer, and plays c5. White has a king and 5 pawns left, okay? It's over. So Martin's just going to have to spaz around a little bit. So g4, okay, you just kind of, no problem. Rook g7, b3, fantastic. Excellent move, b3. King c7, excellent move, king c7. f5, excellent move, f5. At some point, I'm like, okay, baby Gotham is probably going to stalemate Martin. That's where we're going. Pawn takes f5. Now Martin is down to 4 pawns. And he will probably lose them. Knight f3, king g3. And now, after c4 and king f4, baby Gotham decides it has had enough messing around with the old man. Knight g5 check. The king runs here. f4 check. And in this position, queen d3. The king has been walked to the middle of the board, thoroughly embarrassed. 30-point material advantage for black. And he spots queen e3, queen e4, or queen d6 mate. And that's the end of the game. Baby Gotham has defeated Martin. And if this means anything, it means that chess for babies and your 1 or 2-year-old can literally be strong enough to defeat the Martin bot. Results may vary. Some babies will stick to chess. Some babies will eat the chess pieces. Some babies will eat the book. But regardless, baby bot Gotham has successfully defeated Martin, and Martin continues to embarrass the human race as it pertains to chess. And you may also, unless you beat him, you have to train and be good enough to defeat Martin in chess. That's all I have for you today. Please check out Chess for Babies if you haven't already, or get it as a gift for somebody else. And I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here.